Best off.
Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Hive Mind. It's going to be a very quick show today because we're starting a bit later than normal. We've already had the Daily Brexit with Ollie. Great show. And I believe there's some other shows coming on a bit later on in the evening as well. So we'll just make this a quick one, even though it is an extremely important subject. The subject for this evening
we're going to go on to in probably tomorrow's show. We'll continue this this part of the show on. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I think it'd be a great place to, a bit of an intro to tomorrow's show or something, because the corruption in British politics and the British political system is systemic. It's from the bottom to the top, and it's hard to even comprehend how bad it's got, because every facet of the political system is corrupt. To start at the very top, the Crown is corrupt. That she's not she's not protecting the British interests and the British people. She's the one that can do it. Then the politicians, they're puppets on a string to the banking system. Then, even deeper than that, right down to a local council level. They're all towing the party line. They're all in it for themselves and not in it for the people that they're supposed to represent. So, yeah.
Well, and the thing is that the royal family has been designed over a long time from what I've seen. They're controlled by the Rothschilds. She has to, when she goes into the Bank of England, she has to ask permission. And it's quite funny. They even blatantly ignore her when she walks in as well. It's quite funny. It proves who does run the show.
Like the Q says, follow the money.
Follow the money. And where does it ultimately end up?
Yeah.
That's
at the top of the Illuminati pyramid.
Exactly. And they control our banking systems, and over the years they've infiltrated in everyone's banking system, not just ours, not just America's, not just European countries. Every single one of them. There's only 4 countries that aren't run by the central banking system, and apart from one of them countries, they're all doing all right. One of the countries, it isn't great there, but
that's by design.
It's by design.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. To push them out, so the central banking system can come in, which we all need to oppose. It'll be hard for a good few years, putting in our own sovereign money, getting it all worked out and how we're going to do it.
Well, imagine one of our politicians being like Trump and saying, "Oh, we're going to audit the Bank of England." I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
A lot of people scarper to a non-extraditionary country. They'd be fleeing faster than you could blow your nose.
Yeah, I think we'd have 25,000 signed and sealed indictments against them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And going on the sealed indictments is nearly up to 30,000.
Well,
so a lot of sealed indictments. But back to the banking industry. How is it managed to fool so many people for so long? I do not know. That's one thing I don't understand. It got me as well. I'll hold my hands up. It got me. I started learning about the banking industry probably about 5 years ago, really looking into it. I knew there was some shady business going on, but I started looking into it and how it worked to try and understand it before I actually tried to get really into the nitty-gritty of it. You kind of got to get an overall understanding and then go deeper. I went deeper into it last year, and then that's when I found certain people like Steve Baker, an MP, Conservative MP. He was speaking up about it, and he actually managed to get into Parliament. I don't know how he done it, don't know how this man managed to get talking out about the banking industry and getting away from them inside their own house.
Yeah.
Ultimately, because they do own it, one way or another. I don't know how he managed that, but I take my hat off to the bloke. I'd love to get him on to Ollie's show as well. That'd be great. But yeah, I started looking into it, and I realised, I was like, well, they're just punching digits into a screen. How are they getting away with just punching digits into a screen? And then that's when you come to finding out about how they move bonds and the markets to be able to move all of this behind the scenes money. And then it was like, well, they're also lending out 80% of one person's money.
Yeah.
Right? And then as soon as you sign a document, you're creating money that they're actually lending to you. So I was like, well, this is a bloody double-ended Ponzi scam.
Yep.
Like they're getting you to create money and a legal tender. They trade it on the markets and get cash value back, right? At the same time as you paying that said, in quotations, loan with interest.
Yep.
And then you've got one society that's paying a bulk of interest and loads of tax. And then you've got another part of society that's paying no tax and opposes interest, right? It all does not make sense.
When you look at it logically, you're right, it makes no sense at all. And it can't work. It can never work. And it's bound to fail.
It's even more baffling. Why would you chase something that doesn't exist? It's like a dog chasing its tail. You just go around in circles.
Yep. Yeah. You know what really woke me up? What woke me up to the banking system? It's quite a funny one, actually. Back in school, we studied The Merchant of Venice by Shakespeare. And that literally highlights Jewish usury. And I thought, oh, so that's why there's interest. That's why they do it. All right, so let's have a little look down this rabbit hole. And I looked into it and I saw that they were just making up money to loan out to people as debt. So they were taking triple what they could. And then I studied the stock market a bit more as well, and how the banking system have manipulate the stock market to play it to their way, to make sure that it goes up when they want it to and comes down when they want it to.
Well, not only that, they've also brought everything that makes the markets go up and down on purpose. That they've done it. They've brought everything. They've brought all the stocks, everything. And they'll push a certain stock and then they'll drop it and then they'll push another stock and they'll drop just to benefit them and their friends. And they're in a little club, people, and guess what? You're not fucking in it. You're not getting a piece of the pie. You're really not.
Nope, you're
paying for the pie.
You're getting the shitty end of the stick every time. And even
with a mortgage, I'm going to say to all those people who have got mortgages, I honestly feel sorry for you the way you've been conned out of what you've got. Unless if you've got the ability to pay that off very quickly, I'm going to be quite frank. There's going to be a lot of people with mortgages who are going to lose their homes.
Well, that's what the 2008 crash did.
No, I mean like more people are going to lose their homes.
More.
This next crash, which is inevitable, I would probably say within the next 18 months.
Yeah, 2 years.
I really see it happening. I may be wrong. I may be completely wrong, but I do honestly see it happening in the next 18 months, one way or another, whether it's planned by the deep state, which is most likely,
well, they've been doing
or whether the Federal Reserve ends up getting closed down and the Bank of England gets closed down and stuff like that, and we go to sovereign money. One way or another, it's going to crash, it's going to hit, and it'll be better if we do it by our choice rather than by design. because by design we'll lose everything.
The elites will keep everything. They will keep everything.
You won't have a home. You won't have a home, or they'll make you pay double the amount. They'll ramp up the rent, average rent price.
Ramp up interest.
The average house price. Look what they've done to London.
Yeah.
They've made it virtually impossible for the average man to buy a house in London. Guess what? My granddad had a 4-story house in London, North London, right in the heart of Arsenal. Right? It was literally 2 streets away from Highbury, right? And he bought that with my nan, right? That was his house. He bought it, paid for it. That same house now, retrospectively, right? My granddad back then would never have been able to afford it. The house now is probably worth over £1 million.
Yeah.
Well over £1 million, this house, right? There's no way the average man can afford that.
Not a chance.
Not a chance have you got that. And if you do, you're going to be living beyond your means. And in my eyes, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, you're going to be working every hour of every day just to pay the mortgage.
And going to food banks.
Yeah, you won't have any money left for food, for bills, for clothes, for anything. So it's been set up so the oligarchs or the plutocrats can buy up these houses. And yeah, they're the only ones that can have them.
And Lauren's right. She was looking into the mortgages. So her comment is, looking into mortgages, I discovered that your mortgage provider trades your loan on the stock exchange. That's completely right. They can do 8 times the value of that loan by law. They can do 8 times. It's not the whole lot. They have to reserve 20%. Like they only hold 20% of everyone's cash money
deposits,
in each bank. So each bank will only hold 20% of everyone's money.
Yeah, the fractional reserve banking system, the fractional reserve.
Yeah, because there is no. So if everyone withdrew or tried to withdraw all of their money from a cash point or go into a bank,
crash.
There'd be no money.
Crash.
There would be there's not enough money. So the physical money to digits on a screen, the digits on a screen well outweigh the physical legal tender cash, the actual cash, the hardcore material money, what they call money. That's a problem. Yeah. That's a very big problem.
And they're printing this money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
If you went to your bank and you could only get out 20% of your money, well, everyone would be screwed. Unless if you're very, very rich.
Yeah. And like I said, they're printing money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Printing. And we still don't have enough money to cover the zeros on the screen.
There'll never be enough.
No.
And it's by design. And that's how they're doing it. They're like, oh, we can't sustain this anymore. There's too much money in the market. It's flooded the market, and we've lost control of it.
Inflation.
You've lost control of it, not us. You have lost control. And that's the difference. They'll try and push the blame on certain individuals, like, oh, this high street bank was doing fraud. Actually, you're all doing fraud because it's all money laundering. That's all you're doing.
Well, it's been said in Parliament that the banking system's fraudulent, and yet no one's doing anything about it.
Because you get immunity and nothing can be discussed outside or held accountable, like as in law, outside of the Houses of Commons. They have a free rein to say what they want. They could even probably be racist. They wouldn't, but you could and get away with it. There's complete immunity there.
Say what you want, do what you want. We're not coming after you.
And let's face it, majority of the PM's questions and stuff like that, it's all scripted.
Scripted. And they have civil service handlers. so they can only say what they're told to say. You know,
and if they're going to make a statement, they have a counterpart to the handler that tells them what they're allowed to say in public or on social media. Everything has to go via
the government narrative police.
How I was explaining with this system, right, is all they've done is they've sat down all these authors, right, and said, right, these are the books all these countries and all these people got to follow, right, just in different contexts. So the Labour have this exact same story as the Conservatives, but just wrote it in a different way.
Well, since New Labour, they've all said the same shite. All of them have said the same shite and actually have done the same shite. You can see it's now turned into a one-party system because they're all just doing the same thing. More government, more control, more regulations. None of them have actually put in any frigging legislation or statute to say boost British industry. It's all been boost the banking industry, boost the city. That's all they care about. Doesn't matter if it's red or blue.
Or they'll concentrate on one area. So, like, I'm not saying this was part of Nigel's thing, but this is something that they do. When Nigel went into the fishing industry, he didn't really have much to do with the fishing industry beforehand, but he just got on a bandwagon, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? And got a little bit of front face out there. That's all they do. But he done it, and he might have done it for genuine reasons, and he might have realised, oh, do you know what? Maybe I should have done a bit more here and there and doing this and that. But ultimately, he had something held over him. His hands were tied, and when your family's threatened, there's nothing you can do. Ultimately, especially when you're in that position. No, I'm not making excuses for him. I think he knows what he's done. That's why he's trying to right a few wrongs, as such. But anyway, back on the banking industry, having it spoke about empowerment was amazing, but having immunity is poor.
There's no accountability at all.
That's it. The only accountability is held upon ourselves. So we hold our own accountability, right? But we also hold their accountability as well. And it's forced upon us. So, like, they want to, do you know what? We all want to, us people in Parliament, we want to invest in HS2. We want HS2. We want the world's fastest speed rail.
Well, it won't be. The Japanese have got it down to a T.
And we're going to connect it up with the Euro, Europe and their thing. And then we're going to invest in a multi data collection services. Hang on. We don't want that. That's not what we want. No. We don't want the fastest speed rail. We don't need the fastest speed rail. What's the point?
Wait, how much are they going to fucking charge us to go on this super high speed train?
No, it's not even that. It's not even the cost of it. It's not the cost of it, of what it's going to cost you to use it, right? It's the fact we don't need it, right? If you don't need a new TV, you're not going to go out and buy a new TV.
A lot of people do. And a lot of people buy it on credit. So,
yeah, but I'm on about ultimately with the way that the government do it, right? And they're forced to do it by their banking friends because it drives money.
Yeah.
Towards them because their special friends have the construction and whatnot contract.
Yep.
And then.
And what's the odds? What's the odds that those trains will be built in Europe? Will be built in Germany?
Oh, they will be.
Oh, yeah. Of course they will.
But, not just it's the fact that we don't need these things. Like, do we really need 5G? Honestly,
no.
right?
5G's are just...
No. Take the danger out of it. Just the concept of 5G. Do we actually need it?
No.
Is it required for us to survive?
No, it's not. Not at all.
So there's no point investing billions in it.
No.
Do we need self-driving vehicles?
God, no.
So why are we investing in it? Exactly. Because the narrative's pushed by certain people. And this is the thing, right? Exactly the same with, like, forcing industries to have certain machineries and stuff like that. It goes to as small as that. But we don't need all of these things that they're telling us that they're investing in, right? So they're wasting our money, right, by investing in things that we don't want it to be invested in. Like, I don't want to invest in foreign aid. I'd rather that money be invested in my own country. So then in future times, we can actually offer someone real help. Okay?
And something else they do is one political party will cut funding to the NHS and cut funding quietly. And then the other party will come in and say, oh, we're going to put an extra 50 million into the NHS. When the other...
To make them look better.
To make them look better, yeah. So...
They play themselves off with each other, don't they?
Yeah.
They're playing table tennis with words and certain actions. But again, how has the banking industry fooled people for so long?
Well, it takes three generations. It takes 3 generations to wash the mind, to be able to impose your story.
About 3 generations. That's the thing.
No, the banking system's been owned since the 1800s.
End point, then. Are we at that end point of that 3rd generation? So that next generation has now realised. So it cycles like that. I'm not saying 3 is the exact number. It could be 2, 1, 2,
no,
4.
What it is you teach the grandparents one thing, they kind of get it and understand it, then they teach their children the same thing, and they believe their grandparents, and then their parents, and then their parents teach their children, and their children fully believe what their parents say and what they are taught. And it's same with education, same with schools. You teach the teachers one thing, the next generation teaches the generation of teachers that same thing, and then that generation of teachers teaches the next generation, who are fully convinced that that is the truth. And that's the way the system works.
And then you get people like me, the rebellions.
Yeah. And now they've put into place this oh well, you can't say that, or you're stupid for saying that. You're stupid for saying the truth. Yeah.
Do you know what? I've said before, I'm waking people up slowly around my area. Like my work, as much as I actually probably do annoy them, because they can't take this sort of influence. I'm going to be honest, not all of them are as savvy and as clued up as we'll think they might be in regards to just having any sort of intellect.
Yeah.
Or common sense. I think we give people a bit more than what they should sometimes. That's not the case with everyone. I'm not branding everyone, but there are obviously certain groups in societies or certain people within societies that aren't what we'd say blessed with intellect. They might have great people skills and stuff like that, but just lacking in other skills. Anyway,
can't handle the truth.
I'm slowly waking people up. Not really, but they're warped. I'm going to be honest. They see that they're trapped now, and there's no way out from. Like, they've got children or they're too old. I'm like, there's nothing standing in your way. I was like, because if there was a man coming at you with a gun, you're gonna take him down, right, to protect your child. Mm-hmm. So this is exactly what's happening. Someone's got a gun to your head. get rid of it.
Yeah.
Don't let him pull the trigger. And the banking industry's got us like that. Got anyone who's got a mortgage, they've got a gun to their head.
Yep, bent over the barrel.
Literally.
You have to do as we say. You have to work. You have to do what you have to do it, or else you lose your home.
I nearly had enough to get a mortgage, right? Deposit for a mortgage, and I would have been able to get a mortgage. And I was working in mortgages at the time, and it all clicked into place more or less then with how everything within the banking industry works, and like everything that I'd looked at clicked into place when I started working in the finance industry. And I've done it on purpose because I knew it was the way that the elites work, or the people in the behind scenes work.
Yeah.
They work with the money. So I was like, right, I'm getting into this industry. I'm going to get into finance. I'm going to understand what it is. And then I nearly had the money, and I was like, I'm not going to mortgage because I've never owned my house.
Nope.
I could never own my. You could have the deeds to the land, right? Deeds to the house.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never own the land,
Mm-hmm.
right? You'll never own the bricks and mortar of that house. So, to me, it was pointless. The only way you could own your own house is if you just literally pay for everything in cash. And people just don't have that thing. So that's why they do mortgages.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a through mortgage would work brilliantly. And like we said before, people could go and get these notarized documents, but what really needs to happen is to write it in Old English. So if you're trying to secure your land, you've got to make sure that your everything has been written in Old English to claim that right, and to get your true boundaries as well. You'd have to go back to get to old heritage and get old maps. You'd have to do a lot of research to actually own that land and that property, and you'd have to put it all into a will. Everything out would have to go into a will, and then into trust. And trust law and trusts, well, it's the basis of money, I'm going to be honest, right? But trust law itself, wow, when I started learning about that is a completely different subject to finance, as in money. But they work, the finance industry and trust law work side and side, but to understand them, you have to look at them different subjects. You can't intertwine. You can intertwine them in individual cases, but to do it as a whole subject becomes very difficult. But yeah, trust law, it's a brilliant subject. I loved it. And going back years ago, when honest people were doing these trusts and wills, I would have loved to have been able to do it back then. But I don't feel honourable in doing it now. Another reason why I left my company, as well as health reasons. I couldn't continue doing it because it was dishonest.
That's it.
It wasn't being true, and I knew then, and I was speaking out to people then. I was like telling them exactly about things. I was like, you all think everything's all hunky dory, but really, it really isn't.
It's a tower of cards, and all it takes is a gust of wind to blow it all down.
Screw.
Yeah. It's lies upon lies that's built so high that it baffles the mind to try to unravel them.
Well, what you got to think is, right, if, say, we're about 75 million in this country, or about 65 that, 65 to 75 million.
Yeah. Out
of that, I'd probably say about 30 million pay tax, yeah? If everyone paid £1, right, a tax a day, right, in one day, that's £30 million, right? Times that by 365, you got a heck of a lot of money, right? And we pay a lot more money than that. And I know we pay a lot out, right? But what I'm trying to put into perspective is, even if, say, 70 million paid we've done it over the whole population, and everyone paid £4,000 on average, right? It would work out to be over 300. I think it's 375 trillion pound, right? So we can equate that money is definitely paid into the system over a year for the people that pay taxes. Would you say that? About that much?
I'm not. There would,
because you've got people that pay, like, say, like a footballer, right? Say Jack Wilshere, he's taxed last week for his 90,000. He would have been taxed about £48,000 of that.
Yeah, just below half of it would have been paid in tax.
Yeah. So that's a lot of tax. And normal people pay that a year when they've got, like my mate's dad. He's on about 130 grand a year, and he pays like 60 grand of tax a year. It's a lot of money to be paying out.
Yeah, and there's no accountability of it.
And that's one exactly.
Yeah,
there's no accountability. And do you know what? If I was a local leader or an MP or PM, I would put into place committees of honourable peers among constituencies to do
accountability?
Scrutinised accounts.
Audit
accounts in council offices, in local councils, and then in like police station, everything. Anything that handles and deals with public money, it gets dealt with by a committee of peers, right, of honourable stature among the constituency, and the constituency can all get involved and say who they want to be in this committee, and it'd be a committee of 12, like a judge,
like a jury,
yeah, like a jury. So everything's done properly. I'd even go to say do it as a baker's dozen. So you've got that one lone wolf who goes, I'm making that final decision. No, I'm joking. No, we'd have to do it properly. It'd be,
well,
write it down. Write the thing down on a thingy, and then you have your findings on a paper. It gets then delivered to the head of the committee, and then or the whole committee come round with their findings and go, this is what we found.
Well, I think the whole country needs the grand audit.
Transparency.
We have to audit everything from top to bottom to see where is the money gone, where's the money coming from, what is going on. Because, like you say, only less than half of the people in this country pay tax. So what is that is completely and utterly unfair on the other half of the country that do pay tax. And then you've got the corporations. Then you've got the corporations that pay.
They're the ones, the slimy corporations that are sliding because they've got friends in the banking industry to let them, and they put it into other accounts and offshore accounts and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, we don't bank in your country, we just trade in your country. Well, hang on, you're trading, you fucking pay it, mate.
Yeah. Well, they'd rather pay a politician 200 grand than pay 1.5 billion in tax.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as they can get away with it, they'll keep on getting away with it. And if we had the grand audit, all of this would be stopped. It's on the head with a massive mallet.
If we had a grand audit, whoever's auditing it would have an heart attack reading the first million pages.
Yeah. Well, it would have to be a big ass team of people. A big team of people with accountancy degrees to actually take it apart bit by bit, pick by pick, and go through it with a fine-tooth comb. Because
there's one reason why I started doing my accountancy course, because my sister-in-law, she's AAT, she's going to be chartered very soon, and she's got like 10, 11 years experience in accountants, but not just in like a small firm, She's the accountant for Dr. Martens.
Doc Martens, the big boots, kick-ass boots.
Yeah, and an international company. Like, she is one of the head, because the head office of all Dr. Martens is in a village right next to my town, like 4 miles away. And she works there, and she's worked there for 10 years. And I said to her, I was like, if I become MP, how would you feel if I asked you to, along with other people, because I've got a couple of other friends that are accountants, to work in a committee to scrutinise the accounts of, what do you call it, the local council? And she was like, yeah. So I was like, I was like, would you do it as volunteer? And she was like, yeah, of course I would. There's no problem. I think that's good. And that's what we need. We need good, honest people.
Well,
that are willing to put their effort into their society, whether it's a little bit like doing the auditing the accounts, or whether it's helping out on a committee for the local community centres or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You doing one person doing an hour a week, right, isn't no time out of anyone's life, and there's enough people around to do for everyone to do an hour a week towards their community. It's easy, an hour.
Yeah,
we do it just talking. We do it talking, and we could do this. Like, say if you've got if you've got a psychology degree, yeah, and you volunteer an hour of your time to helping out
in the mental health care industry, yeah,
in the mental health, and whether that's helping people just talking to them, or whether it's like face to face, because everything has to be face to face when you're doing these things, and or whether it's training someone or helping someone with like the paperwork or something like that. There's people within communities that can do this thing, and do you know what? Bring your kids along to certain things, and have part of the community. Have like a open centre where kids can go, or where it has all these facilities in. So if people are visiting, like say a mental health team or something like that, then they've got somewhere that their kids can play and be quite happy. Do you know what I mean? But like have it as a sensory kind of place, instead of it just being the rubbish they fill it up with now. Make it interacting and quite fun for them. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
And proper educational, so maybe put them in a little garden, doing some little playing with plants and stuff, doing a little bit of...
Yes, so that's all sensory. That's what I mean by sensory.
Yeah.
Because
what I'm saying is more real world.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than sticking them in front of a television and saying, watch this Disney film. No, actually do a bit of this. Play with your hands.
Teach them how to plot a palm. Teach them about vegetables. Start growing your own vegetables. There's another way to get away from the banking industry, because then you're not pumping that money that you save on having to go to the veg store to get all of that veg that you're growing. Right? You can put it all into a pot. Don't put it into the bank, because you're not going to earn any interest. You're better off having it as like, I'd probably get in pound coins, in all honesty.
It's
something like that, because the paper's not worth anything.
No. As soon as that...
At least if you've got metal, you can at least even make something out, and melt it and make something out of it. Do you know what I mean? Even if you can't trade with it. When you got metal, you can make stuff. Do you know what I mean?
It's still a material asset rather than an imaginary paper asset.
And could you imagine burning that plastic to start a fire? Well, you wouldn't start a fire.
No. No.
So yeah, coin's the way to go. And I'd save it and I'd put that money aside. But teaching your kids and teaching them about that money, putting it aside.
Yeah, saving.
And that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and say, because we do this, or we can put this aside. And it puts the thought into their head of thinking logical and thinking outside of the box, so to speak. And get the kids out into nature. Like I love, like my brother, he takes my nephew out to like local parks, and because we've got quite a lot of like reserve parks around my area, quite like, so touching nature. But my brother's quite like me in that aspect. But everyone should be doing that. And not only that, walking around trees is actually scientifically proven, right? And actually real science, honest and true science, that spending half an hour every few days or a couple of times a week walking around trees decreases your depression. Now, everyone has depression on different levels. Depression could be just being generally sad because you've had a crap day. Go and walk around by the trees. Makes you feel a little bit better, in all honesty, doesn't it?
Yeah,
really?
It does. Yeah, getting back to nature, getting back to the spiritual roots
the root
of
of
things.
us.
Yeah,
the spiritual root of who we are.
Yeah, and teaching, these inner city kids that think that that don't know where a chicken leg comes from, or the chicken dippers that they freaking feed them. They don't know what a chicken is. They've never seen a chicken in their life. Get them out to the farms, get them looking at real nature and stuff like that, and they'll soon start to be more educated about the real world and the life as it truly is, and not this plastic fakery that's been conjured up by by the establishment.
Nigel says KFC in the freezer.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's true. So many people wasting money on these fast food restaurants, right? Paying these multi-corps of dollars a day in some of them.
Yep.
And people continue to do it, and then they go, "Oh, I don't feel that well." After they eat it, "Oh, I don't feel that well. Oh, wasn't that nice? Oh, it's a bit of a waste of money." Well, why continue to buy it? Stop it.
Yep.
Let all these big corporations fizzle out and go. This is the best thing that can happen to them. And then get the local man doing the job. Why do we need an individual KFC in every single town? How about we've got the local farmer, all right, his nephew, is quite a good chef, he's really good with chicken, right? And he's going to do a KFC style. There's nothing special about their bloody, well, there probably is, they put a load of crap in it.
Yeah, that's the special part.
Yeah, like their coating is nothing special, right? Give me the right ingredient. Give me. You
can make a better one,
and I could knock that up. I could make a better one.
I can make a better one.
Mine does taste better. And their chips are horrible. The corn's horrible. It's all horrible, right? And I'm not saying that because I'm a vegan or because I don't like fast food restaurants. Even when I did, and this from a personal view, from personal experience, past the wanting of any of it, and because when I did eat it, I didn't enjoy it ever.
You see, I'm always one. I've been a chef for a long time, and I'm always one that I like to know exactly what goes in my meal, exactly what's on my plate. I like to know.
Yes.
I even like to know. Well, I used to when I used to go to my proper local butcher's that's been a family friend for a very long time. I used to know. I used to see the chickens running around in the field before I ate them. So I knew from they coined the phrase "from farm to plate," but that was a crappy restaurant term. For me, I'd cook the food at home, and I'd know pretty much exactly where everything on that plate came from. Maybe not so much the pasta and the rice, but
some restaurants.
I never eat out anymore, really. I cook my own food. I love to cook my own food. It's part of life.
Me too.
You know, I'd rather not have somebody else cook my food because I don't know what's in it. Especially with the fast food shit that they feed you. You don't know what's in it at all.
And it's how people will all live on processed foods as well. That processed food business, people need to cut that out of their life. Like, do you know what I live my life by? Between 90 and 95% of the time I'm healthy, 5% of the time I'm not. That's how I live my life.
Everything in moderation. You know?
Yeah.
Even eating all healthy all the time is not good for you. You have to have a little...
because your body doesn't recognise what's bad.
Yeah, you have to have a little splurge on something that's bad. You know? Eat a freaking cake, for goodness sake.
There's no harm in having a cake. Eat home, make it at home. It's the best thing you can do.
Especially if you've got kids and things. Get them in the kitchen.
Get involved. Make bread.
Yeah.
Teach them.
Yeah.
Do what our grands used to do to us and what our aunties used to do. My auntie used to love teaching us children how to cook. She was amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that's why I became a chef.
Well, that's where it comes.
She was that good.
A lot of it stems from that. My mum's Sicilian, so I've always grown up with that. Get into the kitchen, get cooking, get making food. That was part of my life, part of my growing up, and it's where I got my love and respect for food from. And we're now seeing
can't survive without food.
Yeah, well, that's why I fucking
you can, but not for a very long time.
Yeah.
You need food to move yourself forward, and I realise that. And I still know people who can't cook now.
No.
I know people who can't cook, and it for the life of me, it confuses me. It baffles me. I don't understand. How can you not cook? How can you not cook a decent dinner from scratch?
Or they just got a bung it in the oven pizza or a bung it in the oven fucking smiley face thing.
Why are people buying frozen roast potatoes?
But beggars belief. Because who knows what because they're not fully all potato. There's potato and preservatives. Wait.
It's easy. All you do is parboil your potatoes for like 10 minutes while you get your oven preheated.
Yep.
And then you whack some coconut. Well, for me, I use coconut oil.
I use duck or goose.
And then season them up to whatever you want to do. Whack them, swirl them around in your pan to beat them around a bit to fluff up the edges. Whack them in your nice warm oven.
Yep.
Right? Half an hour later, guess what? You've got nice cracking roast potatoes. It's as easy as that.
Yep.
Easy as that.
All it takes is, the 10 minutes of parboiling beforehand.
Yeah, and that's effortless because guess what? You don't really have to wash that pan up either because you're going to put your veg in it.
Yeah.
Just swirl it out, put some fresh water in it.
Boiling water.
Bob's your uncle, finish your aunt.
Peas going, bish bash bosh. Yep. But it's...
And like frozen or pre-sliced foods. Why are people buying pre-sliced food? Like pre-sliced peppers and pre-sliced mushrooms. Why? It takes 2 seconds to slice up a mushroom. If you've got a knife, right, cutting through that mushroom is no problem. And guess what? Stop peeling your mushrooms, people. I don't understand why people peel them. There's no point.
Well, the mushroom skin makes you fart.
Makes you what?
Makes you fart.
Whoopsie-doo. It's because you're getting good nutrients inside you. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And do you know what? People go, oh, I've tried eating healthy for like a week, and I started getting weird feelings in my stomach, and I didn't feel well, and I was going to the toilet quite a lot, and it didn't look normal. And I say to people like, that's because all the rubbish is coming out of you. Not only that, your body hasn't had that nutrition for a very long time.
And to be honest,
to do it, you have to do it for 30 days, because every 30 days your body changes. So if you persevere with eating just healthy for 30 days, your body will change and you'll be adapted.
And to be honest with you,
just continue.
They're going with the 4 meat products as well. So they're eating Linda McCartney vegetarian meals and not actually getting, they're actually having the pre-processed vegetarian meals. So they've still got the crap in them.
Some of the stuff's okay. You have to just be careful of what you buy. You literally have to read what you're buying now.
Well,
I'm quite lucky because I buy everything quite fresh, and I buy them from places I can trust. Like all my fruit and veg, or most of it, comes from Aldi or Lidl. Not really Lidl, more Aldi. Actually, majority of my stuff comes from Aldi because I cook everything from scratch. I have, for my lunch, sometimes I'll cook an extra bit of Thai curry the night before, or the night before I'll prep a veggie burrito, like a bean and whatever, or a lentil one, or make up a lentil burger or something to take into work because I've got the facilities to be able to heat it up properly. Even roast potatoes, anything. I cook and I take it to work. And people will come with their McDonald's and it makes me heave. I'm not going to lie.
Oh,
McDonald's does make me heave now.
It smells like cardboard. It looks like cardboard. It tastes like cardboard. What do you think it is?
The other thing is that someone bought margarine. Who buys margarine? I was like, it's like 2 molecules away from being bloody plastic.
Vaseline. Anyways, wait. Let's jump back to point. Because what is the government supposed to do? Protect the people. And the government is not protecting the people from all these harmful additives that the food companies are pumping into our foods on purpose to dumb us down, to kill us off and give us all fucking cancer.
Well, Monsanto's, someone in Monsanto's is in Big Pharma and in the tech company, right, and water. They're all connected to one another.
Yeah.
They're literally all connected. Our food, our water, our medical, our everything. It's fascism. And it's fascism. It's fascism.
It is.
Of course it's fascism.
Outright fucking fascism. We don't see it.
Us calling us so-called right-wing people fascists, right, when we're actually trying to work against this correct fascism, right? So we're actually anti-fascists, right? We're just not violent with it. And then we've got fascists trying to pose as anti-fascists because they're trying to hide the narrative of who they're trying to hide.
Being funded by a fascist. Yeah.
It's an oxymoron, the whole situation.
No, I think because of the media, and the narrative, everything's got so fucking confused that people can't see left from right, from up from down. That's what they've done. They've made the world so confused, nobody knows what they freaking stand for or who anymore.
It's it's
a tangled web of deceit, a very tangled web of deceit, and we're all little flies struggling about trying to get out of it. Whilst the massive spider comes along and goes nyam 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 and eats us up.
Do you reckon we'll get away with playing a song right now? I just want to play. I really do. it's not going to.
Oh.
I don't think. 2 seconds.
Yeah. But it's all by design. We keep saying this time and time again. The world we live in is by design. They have a lot of experience in designing the world the way it is by controlling and manipulating people's minds. They know it. They freaking abuse it as best they possibly can. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's literally every single thing. It's all by design, and it sickens me that people won't see it or look at it
until it's too late. Until the economy crashes and the shit hits the fan, people will not. People don't want to wake up. People don't want to see it. People aren't preparing.
Right? Can you hear this?
Not really.
What about now?
A bit better. Ah, sorry, boys. Yeah. The confused little people.
Ignored by police, follow with the hand, reach the base. That was falling, coming from whiting. They're paranoid, brainwashed by their teachers on their campuses. They are all girls who are boys, green toys and green girls, white boys from my girls, and green girls from my boys. You never could be someone to really love. Avoiding your word.
You know what I love about it? He even got Tommy Robinson
sharing it, yeah.
People in it. I can see them all. I'm looking at I stopped it right on them. And if they came up, do you know, I'd have loved to have been there. Really would have.
Oh, well. We were in Manchester before. In Piccadilly.
I'm going to put, for the live feed, the link to that song.
Yeah, and look at all the other Daniel Bostock stuff as well. Because he's a funny guy, but he cuts to the core. He's got a very good political mind on him. I'd like to get him on the show. That'd be a good one.
I've got a link, yeah. I'm putting another link to his YouTube channel. In the description is the link to videos that aren't on his YouTube channel or on Facebook.
Yeah.
But they are if you search for them. But if you want a quick link to them, here they are. He's on YouTube until the 9th of May, 9th or 10th, when his ban's over from his copyright infringes, or so-called copyright infringes. Just YouTube being the fascist and silencing us conservative or patriots.
Any patriotic voice?
Daniel Bostock's got a brilliant talent as well. And so true in what he says. And do you know what? I was listening to another person who's only able to release one album, and then he got silenced. And that's Maverick Sabre. His album, few of his songs, speaks out about this corruption and stuff like that. He tried to do it in a different way. But then you got Professor Green. He speaks up about it, doesn't he?
Well,
he says about how everything's all corrupt, so the banking industry, the politicians. He's openly admitted it. What happens to these people?
And
they get hung out to dry.
Yeah, and he looks like an actual genuine person that is from the council estate. You
middle
know,
class. His dad had his own business. It was quite. They weren't poor, but he didn't go to like. He wasn't super rich. He didn't pay to go into where he was. He worked at it, and he done what he done. And he's quite. I think he's quite genuine. He helps out in like genuinely. He helps out the local communities. But he comes from London, and he's seen the changes.
Yeah. I remember him doing a documentary on the homeless people in London because of the fucking ridiculously high housing costs.
Well, and then he went to Bradford, exposed them. I think it was Bradford or somewhere.
Maybe Birmingham.
Bournemouth. Went to Bournemouth,
Bournemouth.
and exposed them on their bars, on their benches.
Oh yeah.
And then gave a better alternative. Like a.
It's called a fucking house.
It was.
That's the better alternative, isn't it?
Yeah, but like he got a bar that went as a curve around it, and then a tarpaulin to shield him from the weather, right? And it was much better than having a bar that they couldn't sleep on or put anything. And he even got a sleeping bag in with that price. What he done? I think it was only like £30. He done it for.
Yeah.
And then they was paying out a few grand
for a metal bar.
A metal bar, so people couldn't sleep on it.
No, that shows the corruption at a council level, because they could have got that metal bar for freaking 20 quid or something, a pound. But no,
they could have got it for a lot cheaper.
But no, they chose to buy. They chose to get it for someone from someone who's going to charge them £2,000 for it, and then fucking backhand them 500 quid. So they, it's and that's at the local council level.
I can think of what it's at a government level, and then you got the international level.
Yeah.
See how things run so deep and so intertwined, can't you?
Yeah, you can see who's controlling who and who's pulling whose strings. And
follow the money.
Follow the money. That's it. Because that is what culture is controlling people now. Selfish, me, materialistic, I want, I need, I want, gimme. The more money
I deserve.
I deserve. Bang on that one. And look at me. Look at what I own. Look at all this fancy clothes I've got. Look at all this jewellery I've got. I've not worked hard for it. I got it for free. Well, I got it without any effort. When consultants or banking consultants earn 7 figures for doing nothing. For hiding the truth.
Well, no, they don't. Well, yeah, partly hide the truth, but they also earn their buddies a few million in the process, or billion.
Yeah. But it's gonna be funny if it does all fall down, because when it does all fall down. When these people can't even wipe their own arses. And nobody's going to do it for them.
We'll give them all of their money that they want, right? Or what they think they have. We'll give them their digits on the screen. We'll give them one laptop. They can have all their figures. And then they can have all of, like, what we have got as cash now, which would then become useless. We'll give it to them and say, there you go.
There's all your stuff.
You can't use it anywhere in the world, right? Yeah. There's no use for it, but you can have it all because that's all you want. But all of you can have it all in one place on this island, and you can't leave it.
What I was trying to say is that the priorities of pay are completely upside down. Your farmers, your doctors, your nurses, your teachers. Should be
firemen.
You firemen, proper police as well. Yeah, proper police.
Yeah,
should be on a high earnings because they're doing the most for society. Whereas these other people, these pencil pushers, shouldn't be earning anywhere near what they're earning.
Not even half.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree, right, that a politician, right, should get 70 grand a year.
That's
right?
it.
As long as they're doing the proper job, right?
No, I think they should get 70 grand a year, cap. That's it. If they earn anything more than that, boom, off to prison with them. Off to prison with them.
If it's for state purposes, so if they've got to go abroad, right, for state purposes, then yes, it's subsidised or paid for
an
in
expense,
some sort of way.
A real, true
right,
expense
as
account.
an expense, yeah. As expenses, and I mean like having auditing would make sure of this. But yes, have 70 grand a year. Yes, there's going to be expenses like your travel, because you couldn't live and pay for the type of lifestyle that an MP needs, and not in like elaboration, but like having to travel places, having to stay in hotels, because they do have to do that at times. Yeah, that can be a true expense as long as it's not being there's not been any backhanders or anything like that. A true expense, like you say.
And I don't want the taxpayer paying 300 quid for a fucking lobster meal for an MP.
No, yeah, exactly. That's no.
So
that's a no-no.
So he can have a nice meal with his fascist buddy that owns freaking Nestle, and sign a deal or do a verbal contract that Nestle is going to be able to mass produce freaking poisons for everybody. You know, that's not right, and the taxpayer should not be paying for that fucking meal.
100% right, mate.
Yeah.
And we subsidise everything for them. We literally pay for everything. Their elaborate lifestyle, everything.
Yeah, everything. And we've let them get away with it for so long that they are seriously now just taking the piss out of it. Really taking the mick. You know, we had this expense scandal that went on, and nothing's come of it. Nothing.
Tell me what warrants Jacob the Rothschild, and I think it's in over $1 trillion a year, just doing nothing.
Well, it's because his Bank of England prints our money, lends it to us, and charges us interest. He gets
and the same to America with Federal Reserve.
Yeah. Same with a lot of places. A lot of the central banking system is run like that, as an individual corporation that just prints the money, makes it up out of thin air, prints it, and lends it to the government.
Do you know what the irony of all of this is? Right, all these people have been born into this, haven't they?
Yeah.
Who we know now. Right, they've been born into it from the original people that started. Right. Isn't it funny that these very people were the pawns of the people before them, right? But they think that we're the pawns. It's actually those who are the pawns themselves, in some sort of manner. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
They're carrying out the will of the forefathers.
Of their forefathers.
Yeah, of their forefathers. Not ours, theirs.
Yeah. Whoever they are, or it may be, or they may believe. It's theirs. I don't believe it. I believe they believe it, but I don't believe it. Now that's a good one. That's as good as saying, I know that you know what I know, that you know that you know what I know, that you know.
I've seen the light. Yeah. It's such a tangled web of deception we see.
And again, I'll refer back to my 40,000 foot view. if you can take a 40,000 foot view of something, right, and take your emotion out of it, guess what? Everything becomes so much clearer. I've detached I haven't become like, I'm not saying I'm not emotional, because I am, right? But when it comes down to like my feeling, like people have said, "Oh, are you a royalist?" I was like, no, I'm not, but not in the sense of I'm an anarchist either, or that sort of manner. It's that I have no emotions attached to them, so why would I and they have nothing to do with me. So why would I be a royalist? Why would I want to bow to someone else? And I am me.
What was the last thing the royal family did for this country?
Yeah.
Nothing. They've not done anything for us.
Did any of them help me up off the floor when I fell over as a child?
No.
No. But my neighbour did. So guess what? I'm definitely my neighbour's friend more than I am the royals' friend.
You're more loyal to your neighbour than you are to the royals.
Yeah, I've never spoken to the royals. The royals wouldn't speak to me. Now that's the difference.
And I think it's going to come out. I think a lot of this is going to come out on shore when those two scumbags get married. Nobody's going to want to go to that wedding. Well, nobody I know is going to want to go to that wedding. Or if they do, it's going to be a protest dressed as a tramp to tell them all to chuff off.
Do you reckon we'll get away with like wearing a crown but part dressing up as a Nazi, part dressing up as like a royalist, and then part dressing up as like a Soviet Union, and then part Jew? Do you reckon we could incorporate that into one outfit and then turn up to it, like loads of us? And then people are like, who you come at?
A royal. Yeah. I've come as a royal.
Yeah, but like but it's Jewish and Muslim and KGB.
And then start a fight with yourself. Then start punching yourself in the face, because that's multiculturalism, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm multicultural.
I'm multicultural.
These people are controlling the world. Yeah. They're not dedicated to one thing. They're all working together, and you're so silly you can't see it. Sorry, I nearly swore.
No, I think we're allowed to swear on this fucking show.
No, I'm trying to keep composed.
We do temper it.
Oneself is not attached to them. So yeah. But I think to get a clear view of things, you kind of have to like. I've seen a video yesterday of people speaking out about certain things, and it kind of brought tears to my eyes. Thinking about the families of the children that have been killed over the last, well, since forever, but like, do you know when it all builds up and and it's that final straw, right? It just got to that, and I was like, I got to release it, and I did. And that's the world we live in. They bring you to tears, but my tears of passion as well as heartfelt for families. Yeah.
It's something that we have that they don't. It's called empathy. It's called empathy.
Empathy, yeah. And it kind of keeps me going a little bit and more determined.
The thing is, from when I wake up, a lot of people that I've tried to speak to and wake up, they said, yeah, I know what you're saying. I know that it's wrong, but what can we do about it? There's nothing we can do about it. And I'm like, that's what they want you to think. That's part of their programming. And yeah, like you said, it brings you to tears knowing that this goes on, and there's so many people out there that know it's going on or know something's bad, but don't do anything about it because they don't think they can do anything about it.
I nearly broke down at work when I was saying to people, I was like, listen, this is not about me and you anymore. This is about our children, our nieces, our nephews, the people that our loved ones, our future generations. It's got nothing to do with us anymore. It's about them. So let's do it for them.
Yeah.
And I nearly broke down in tears. I was like, well, kids are being raped every day, trafficked, pillaged, abused, everything, and it's sickening. I can't take it no more, and I really can't. I can't take it. I can't stand back, and heaven forbid anyone steps in my way, because, they're going to get a full force of me and a full force of my passion. And it's not about me and just my country. This is about children and future generations. I'm not having the possibility that any member of my family, children, or friends' children, or anyone's children being pillaged by social services and councils and everything anymore.
Yeah. My friend's got a kid, and I literally told him that all I need to do is call social services on you, say a few words, and that's your kid taken away off you. And he was like, no, they can't do that. I was like, look into Brian Gerrish and see a bit more about the social services side. Have a look into it, and you'll find out that they will just come around, they will take your kid, they will make up lies, and they will destroy your life. Like that. Done. And some of them even get a fucking kick out of it.
They all get paid for it.
Yeah. They've got targets. They've got targets to hit.
KPIs, mate. When you've got KPIs and SLAs and that sort of thing, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Performance statistics in stealing kids. Yeah.
Can you imagine if those incorporated into the other statistic of the human trafficking and human rights abuse and child abuse, within that statistics of the social services and councils and that, like this scandal?
But what we can't have is random outbursts against it. We can't have random sporadic outbursts against it, because they'll clamp down on us even more. What we need is a unified front, a unified event, a unified stance to bring it all down. I see, because if we all stand together, they can't take us all away.
The Caribbean community in South London yesterday done a march from South London to North London to unite all postcodes to put down their guns, put down the knives, stop this killing, stop this madness, right? And let's teach the next generation. It's about love. Do you know what this woman said? And I hope this woman listens to this at some point. I love the fact that you said what you did, darling. You said you can have all these flashy trainers and all these nice clothes, but the latest pair of Nikes isn't going to save a life. And I was like, amen to that. It's not. Well, it doesn't matter how nice your trainers are or what they are. What matters is in your heart and the community and how you conduct yourself.
Your culture.
It's not even just culture, it's just how you conduct yourself in a righteous, honourable manner, with love and respect, instead of being selfish and disrespectful.
That's true. But a lot of it does stem from this gangster culture that seems to be pumped out through the media. You know, it's cool to...
It's by design.
Yeah.
That's why they put it in the music, in the computers, in the films, in the TV, in the music videos, in every walk of life. Even on children's programs, they're beating each other up and killing each other. Right? What sort of things are to teach a bloody child? Seriously. I had Button Moon.
Yeah. The Smurfs, Fraggle Rock.
And yeah, I don't understand it. Really don't. It's all, but as we say, it's by design. But
the corruption of
how
culture.
People can't see it and not work against it, I don't know.
It's because it's uncool. It's uncool to go against popular culture, isn't it? You know, being like a libertarian is now the counterculture. Being pro-freedom and pro-patriotism is now the counterculture.
Let's be honest, most of us aren't even just patriots to our own country, right? We want to see what's the changes in our country across the whole world, in all honesty, right? If you speak to most people, right, but we all know it's deep as deep, we can only start at home, right?
Until we get our own house in order, why should we clean up other people's houses?
No, but before we can help clean anyone else's house, we need to get our own houses in order.
That's what I said.
That's the difference. Yeah. It's not wanting to. It's just you can't. You have to practice what you preach, right? You can't walk out your house a mess, right, and leave it open, and then go and tell someone the door's behind.
Yep. Because
it doesn't make sense.
Then you come home and all your stuff's missing. Your NHS has been sold down the river. Your transport industry has been sold down the river.
They knew that pumping all of these migrants each year, they drain our services the way they have. They would
cripple our economy,
impact on our culture. They knew exactly what all the effects was, and they was like, it's all right because we're in a little club.
They don't know we're doing it. They don't know we're doing it. We're getting away with it.
It's not even that. They think they're immune to everything, and that they're in the proper elitist club. Well, actually, guess what? You're really not. You're just one of their puppets. They don't really care about you. You're disposable. No. You're just you're nothing.
Do you think a politician is necessary after the Agenda 21? No. A political puppet is not necessary after Agenda 21.
Certainly won't. You'll have no choice.
Yeah. And
that's the problem, not having a choice. It's not even having a one world government, a one world banking system. It's what comes with that. It's you can't do anything unless they say that you can.
Yeah. You have to abide by the party rules.
Checkpoints to go through to your next towns or into the next regions or counties.
It's right. If they get their way, I ain't going to be alive for it. Fuck it. It's right. So I have to goddamn stop it. I have to stop it no matter what.
I would rather die standing on my feet than live on my knees.
Yep. And there's just a lot of work to do. There's a long road ahead of us. There were a lot of twists and turns. A bloody dark tunnel. But there's light at the end of that tunnel. There is light.
And we've got to remember, as we're fighting against them, they've had a lot of time to prepare, so they're going to be putting out a lot of stuff. So it's a case of they're going to fight back. They're going to fight back hard.
Yeah,
we need to be prepared. And you know what? At points, I'm not going to lie, things are going to get physical.
Yeah,
it's inevitable. It's going to happen, and everyone has to face that fact. I've faced it. I know that we are going to have to fight at some point, literally with our hands and fists, with our fists on our feet and our heads. But we have to be smart about it, and that's why we're doing what we're doing now.
Yeah, we have to fight together, not fight each other. We have to fight together, not each other.
As soon as we've got this unity of all these splintered groups and all these scared or not quite trusting everyone. We need to get a complete unity and solidarity. So when it does come, we can go, guess what? We're countering you straight out, and we can pick them all off. If Antifa want to fight us, there's going to be more of us than there is going to be of Antifa.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Same as, and I honestly believe that you'd see the army, because we'd be the ones that would be protecting it. So we'd bring out, like, there's some smart people. So,
well, what needs to happen is when we do a mass, there will be a police line in front of us. What we need to do is, like they do in the old days, send out one man to go and talk to them. Send out our best speaker to go and speak to the police and say, look, this is who we are. This is what we're standing for. You want to stand with us. We are the people. Stand with us. Don't stand for them, your paymasters, your slave masters. Come and join us. And boom, their lines will break. And we shall all walk together.
I honestly don't think it would be too hard to get most of the average police officer, whatever rank it is, to get on side, because they probably are.
But
they're probably sitting back waiting for someone for this whole thing to start getting some momentum so they can start revolting.
But no, you see,
going, oh, we can't put our neck on the line, so we'll hold it, gather more evidence and secure it. And then when the time comes, when we can do it properly, we'll have it all there. I do genuinely think there are police officers and through civil service, from whether it be your dole office to MI5, MI6 or GCHQ or someone like that, anyone in between that, even at government. There's obviously people that have written stuff down and got things on others that isn't on the deep state side. But they've got to sit there and kind of play along until they can.
You've also got a lot that will have been common purposed, neuro-linguistic trained and neuro-linguistic programmed, brainwashed psychopaths in there as well. You're going to have them. They will be there. Now, what like I see with other riots and other civil unrest, when it does turn to violence, you know, at football things as well, the police will act in defence and unity. And it doesn't matter who they start bashing, they'll just start bashing. Now, like I said, if we can send an emissary to talk to those police officers, to tell them what we're all about, and get them on our side from that point, before things turn violent and they start bashing people, because as soon as that mental flick happens and occurs, you can't talk to them. That's when the battle will ensue. And
there are people out there that are kind of communicating with certain officers, and they're willing to do that very thing.
Yeah.
And they are doing so. It's just not being noticed. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But I'd also like to see it as a visual thing. I'd like to see that
coming up. So right, the next March. Can you get down for Tommy Robinson?
London? I can't get down to London. Not a chance. Not a chance. Ain't got no funds.
You need to start going on the marches.
There's nothing happens up in Manchester really. I can get to Manchester, but nothing really happens up here.
You need to get people to you need to start organising it.
Right.
I'm going to organise one in my town.
I know, we do need to start organising, but I've not got the best organisational skills.
Check Manchester DFLA page out. They might be doing a march. Veterans Against Terrorism.
But like I said, it's all very London and South centric. It's all very London centric because they see that as the seat of power, and that's where you have to go and complain, which is a bugger for us Northerners.
Well, actually, there's somewhere in Manchester that used to be like it's a speaker's corner.
Yeah, I know Jim. We've spoken on a couple of occasions, and should be coming on the show soon, hopefully. But
yeah, so
that's a good forum to get people together to get these ideas out there. You know, I tried to organise dragon meetings, get dragons from around Manchester to come into Manchester to have a little meeting. We've got 3 people. We've got 3 people. Yeah, we're still live.
Wow, is that 3 people there?
Yeah, 3 people turned up.
I'm not going to lie though. When I've been to events, there's not been many dragons thereabouts.
I know.
But we're going off subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to end. I think we're going to end now. But,
thank you, viewers.
But yeah, don't ever get disheartened, people. Just because some people don't turn up, doesn't matter. It still goes on. We can still win this war.
What you believe in your heart.
Yeah.
And we all love and believe in the Constitution.
Yep.
And
we want to see Britain great again.
Yes. We want to put the great back in Britain.
Yeah. And we see the truth. We see what these people are doing and what they've done and what they intend to do. And I won't stand for it. Will not. No way. And we have to act before the shit hits the fan, so we can prevent the shit hitting the fan, or prepare for when it does hit the fan.
If we're prepared, we communicate, we unite, we can counteract a lot of their stuff, like Antifa.
Yeah.
We're after you, Antifa. You are nobody. You are boys who drink soy to be girls, who are boys who want to be girls,
who look like boys.
Girls want to be boys. Yeah.
And none of them have ever been truly loved.
But yeah, it's getting people together, like you got certain people are good at certain things, certain people are good at, but we need to unite, get these certain people working on these things, and then get it done. Do you know does that make sense? Like, get people who are like patriots and who are really good at accounts to go and start scrutinising their expenditure and stuff like that. Do Freedom of Information Acts to do it. Same with, I don't know, the water, the food, get everything. Get our society together and say, do you know what? No, we're going to do a better job than you. We're going to take back control, literally. And then we'll just appoint anyone who's in them respected areas. Say, right, well, obviously you'll be in a good position to be on a committee in this new government. You've been doing it for this long, we've helped it. Well, I will still have everyone involved. But people who want to break off can break off. It's, I don't know. In many ways we can do it, but we need to be more fractal thinking, not narrow-minded. We need to broaden our thoughts.
We have to take, a lot of things into consideration. We have to see things from other points of view and see how best to deal with it. Because many minds, the hive mind, is needed. Because if you have 2 minds on something, one can question the other. If you have 100 minds on something, they can all brainstorm, get together, and find the best solution for every problem that we see. And on that note, thank you very much, everybody. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Bye, viewers. Right. And